welcome to Real Estate 360. This is Steve Connolly, hashtag unemployable.
And this is Jason Miles, hashtag the real estate trainer. And we are absolutely having a great time in this studio today. Hey, listen, just real quick, I want to thank everybody for downloading or subscribing, I should say, to the podcast at iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, for everyone that's going to the website, realestate360show.com, and watching and listening there and, just doing things to take action. By the way, it's almost Christmas. It's going to be Christmas in just a few days.
What?
Just a few days.
Why didn't anybody tell me about this?
Just a few days. But I want to tell people that I want to make reference to this real quick too. We are giving away one scholarship for 1 year.
Okay.
One scholarship for 1 year, and you have to go fill out an application, and you have to do that at realestate360show.com.
Okay. Now, what does that mean? What does a scholarship mean? What do they get to come to all of our $20 seminars for the whole year, or what does that mean?
Well, yeah, I think that'll be part of it. They're going to be able to come to those, but we are going to take them by the hand, wherever they are, whatever they have, whatever their
Do we
financial,
have to take them by the hand? I mean,
the proverbial hand.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right.
yes, the proverbial hand. For 1 year, and give them the training that is necessary for them to find success in real estate.
Okay.
We want to take one person and effectively change their life.
Right. Now, listen, we're not going to take just anybody.
No.
We need somebody that is as motivated in this as we are.
Yes.
Because ultimately, we're going to match your energy.
I don't want to do that, though.
Okay.
I don't want to match somebody's energy if they're coming in with low energy.
Well, then we're not going to bring somebody in with low energy.
Amen.
Okay. Then we're going to bring in somebody with high energy and match that.
And you have to fill out the application. Once your application is considered, you have to pass a psychological and emotional background test with Steve Connolly.
That's right. Well, here's the whole point. The point of what I was just saying as far as matching energy is, we can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself.
That's right.
And we're not going to be out there pushing you over the finish line, because that's not running a race. That's not in the game at all. That's
right.
us. That's somebody else, doing the work. We're not going to do that.
That's right.
We're going to show you how to do it, and we expect that you will do this on your own if you're the one chosen.
That's right. So in order to be considered for this, and we're going to announce it in January, probably the last week in January, if you're considered, we're going to probably bring you on the show. We're going to get you in the system right away and go from there. So make sure you go to realestate360show.com and fill out that application so that you can be in the consideration for this particular scholarship.
And may I put a value on this with a quick story?
Sure.
My last mentor student came to me. He called me up. He found me out of whatever on the internet, and he said, "Hey, would you mentor me in real estate?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." He lived in Tennessee, actually, and of course I was here in Atlanta. And he said, how will it work?" And I said, "It's $50,000 to be a mentor student." And he said, "Okay."
That's right.
And we structured it so it was a win-win. I'm not going to get into the details right now, but I wanted to put a monetary value on this scholarship.
That's right.
And honestly, it's worth way more than the $50,000 because, we've done transactions that were more than that. One transaction.
That's right.
Now, this fella was an internet guy. He had something going on the internet, had a nice income. And so I mentored him for about 6 months. We found a project. As a matter of fact, we were out riding around, and somebody walked out of their house, put a for sale sign in the yard in full view of us. We were sitting at an intersection, and I said, "Oh, look over there. There's a guy walking out with a for sale sign." So we drove over there, and it was a duplex. And I said, "How much?" He said, $100,000. And this was in East Point. And I said, "Okay, hold on right there for a minute. So I walked over to the car, I got a contract out, and I wrote on a contract for $100,000. I handed it to him. I said, would this work? And he said, yeah. He signed it, and I handed it to the mentor student. And this is your deal. And then I said, here are the choices. You can wholesale it. You can do a little fix-up. You can retail it. It's worth $150 right now.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. So he ended up listing it with a realtor. He sold it for $150, earned his $50,000 back in one transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this has been great. I'm just going to go back and do my internet stuff.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he did, yeah. So the point is, this real estate thing is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of opportunity here.
Yeah, there is. And all you have to do to take advantage of this, again, is go to realestate360show.com and fill out that application. So let's see what you got. So, Steve, today, right here, right now, 3 days before Christmas.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to talk about?
What's in my stocking? No, I guess the show today is about renovations.
Yes.
And what to do, how to evaluate these renovations quickly from a wholesaler point of view, from a renovator point of view. People call that a fix and flipper.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not fish. And anyway, you'll get that in a minute,
flipper, yeah.
Right? And so,
thanks, Dad.
Yeah, man. God,
the dad joke.
that is terrible. So, and then what to do. What I love about what you do when it comes to these fix and flips is you have a very simple idea about it. Why don't you tell people what it is you do?
When we walk into a deal, we know the area. We know who we're selling to, most importantly. Right. And we walk in, we've created a spreadsheet that will tell us exactly, within about a 5 to 7% range of what it's going to cost for us to renovate this particular house. Right. Not counting for the overages that we're inevitably going to find somewhere. Right. But it's a very simple process. We go in step by step, and all we need to know is the square footage. So it works for anyone, whether they know how to determine the cost of a roof or not. They just need to know the square footage.
What you're saying is you can use this form and you don't even have to know how to operate a tape measure.
That's all you have to know is the square footage of the property. That's it.
And you can find that online pretty much anywhere.
That's right. Zillow, Trulia, all that stuff.
Redfin,
right?
QPublic.
All you do is pop in the address, square footage will pop up. Now, once you know that,
amazing.
It is.
That's absolutely amazing.
It's technology. It's like when the railroad first came out.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing thing. Interesting note, though, by the way. I think you guys will appreciate this. Southern Pacific Railroad.
Yeah.
It was a railroad company. It was a big railroad company, and then it was a failing railroad company. And it transformed. Again, you have to remember, at one point, the railroads were the technological advancement. That was high tech at one point. And so this company did not, for whatever reason, fare well later on. And it was transformed, was picked up by another company who bought it cheap and transformed it into another technological company. Do you know what that company is? Nope. Southern Pacific Railroad International. SPRINT.
How do you build a railroad across the Atlantic?
Sprint,
I mean,
man.
to get. Oh, I guess you could go north and south.
No, did you get it? It's Sprint. Southern Pacific Railroad, SPR International.
Oh,
INT.
my God, really? How about that?
That's what Sprint used to be. Southern Pacific Railroad International.
So they diversified.
They did. So another company bought them, and it didn't work, and they started, laying telephone cable, and that's where Sprint came from.
Amazing. So back to the renovations thing.
I'm full of it.
Yes.
I mean, useless information.
So, later on in this show, we're going to have a renovation expert.
Yes.
Who is representing 5-star services. And it's the people that we use on a lot of our renovation projects. I mean, they're doing stuff in the apartment building.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Mike Schweddy was here.
No, we're not going to get into that. We'll leave that to the...
No one can resist Mike Schweddy. Saturday Night Live skit.
I know.
You got to see it.
I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to respond.
So, Mike Schweddy.
I'd rather have chocolate-covered cherries if you want to know the truth.
That's right. You know? That's what I'm talking about.
So let's have those.
Hey, listen, it's a festive attitude. It's Christmas time, the holiday season. We're coming into a new year. We've got these great marketing campaigns for our real estate business going on. And you know what, man? I'm just having a great time. I'm loving life right now, man.
That's great. I just don't want to go down that particular road with you.
I got you.
Let's take a break.
Let's do that. Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company will buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833willbuy.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español. Llámanos. Call us today.
All right, we are back. And we're gonna kind of stick to the script from here, okay?
Okay, good.
All right, so we want to talk about the deal flow. You know, well, not the deal flow, but how do you evaluate these deals once you do have the deal flow? Because the deal flow is going to force you to do this evaluation which a lot of wholesalers do not do. By the way,
totally, they don't understand how to do it.
Yeah,
and that's why we want to cover this.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a few of the techniques that we use. Number one, now you've already mentioned our spreadsheet,
yes,
which is fantastic, and it's not the end all be all to renovations because trust me, you're going to use this spreadsheet, you're going to come up with a number, and then you're going to leave, and then you're going to come back to the house. You're going to see it's like a whole different house.
That's right.
You know, there's a whole bunch of different things you saw, and you're going to change things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great tool though, to put a handle on the amount of money that it's going to cost you to actually do the renovation.
That's right. And, you know, it's important to know what kind of renovation you're going to do as well.
Yes, thank you for that. That's a good catch.
You know? So it's like, you know, are we going to do this all-out beautiful thing where we're going to, you know, take walls out and, you know, put, you know, tier 3 or tier 4 granite in there? You know, what are we going to do?
Right.
Or is this a rental house and we're just getting it rent ready? Because they're two very, very different renovation budgets. And you got to know what you're going to do first. And that boils down to who you're selling it to if you're wholesaling, or what your investment strategy is if it's for you.
Right. And, you know, earlier I asked you, I said, I really like what you do in your renovations. And I was really shooting for you talking about that full-on renovation,
yes,
that people will want to walk into, and then what we're looking for is for the lady of the transaction, the one that's going to buy the house.
Correct.
You know,
generally speaking.
Generally, that's right. For her to walk into that kitchen and go, and you know, wow,
yeah,
and that's what you can deliver. And how do you do that?
So I'm in the matrix when I walk through a house. I have this little process. I walk up to the house, I look at the house, I look at the lot, then I walk in the house, front to back, you know, side to side. I look at every room to get a lay of the land. Then I walk back to the front door, and then I look at the house with that laser beam focus, that in the matrix, like I'm looking through this wall, I'm moving this room over here, I'm expanding this back X number of feet, I'm adding this square footage, the kitchen will be here, the bathroom is going to look like this. And if you've ever walked the house with me, which you do,
yeah,
that's literally what I do. I'm coming up with it right there. Within 15 minutes, I've got an idea of what that thing is going to look like. When you open the front door, I want you to see the kitchen. Totally open floor plan, because that's what people do today. You know, of course, it depends on the style of the house, the size of the house, things of that nature. But if it's a 12 to 1,600 square foot house,
Right.
You're going to walk in the front door and you're going to see the kitchen. Everything is going to be, it's just going to be wide open. Just wide open. The rooms are all going to be separate.
Why is that? I mean,
because that's what people enjoy today.
That's exactly the answer, right?
Yeah,
that's what they want.
That's right.
We're in the business of giving people what they want.
That's right. So people get into this, new investors in particular, get into this thing where they want to make it what they like.
Yeah.
It's not about that. And when you look at what some would call my designs, my color schemes, my this, that, and the other, that's not me. I'm doing what other people do. I waste my time, which isn't wasteful, watching HGTV and A&E and, those kinds of things. I do that because that tells me what people like today, because other people, buyers, are watching that to get ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to have my walls painted that color, or I'd love to have that kind of floor. That kitchen is fantastic. Look at that floor plan. And then I simply model that.
Right.
And I deliver that in the stuff that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I'm this crazy designer architect dude. I'm not. I'm just the guy that loves to watch HGTV.
Yeah.
And then duplicate it. Simple as that.
Now, you may or may not have that talent and that ability to go in and visualize these things. Frankly, at first, I didn't either. And my brother and I were working together on some projects. And first thing he did was he got a piece of paper out and he drew the house. Basically, he drew the little rectangle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drew in the walls. And then we could just look down on that sketch. And then we'd say, well, if we could, here's the plumbing for the kitchen and the bathroom. We really don't want to move that around because that's going to cost a lot more money. But we could expand over the kitchen over in this direction and move this wall and that. So if you put it on paper, maybe that's easier for you. Maybe it's easier just to walk through. Whatever works for you, just do it that way. But the point that I really appreciate is that you watch HGTV.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching the same thing people are watching all across the country. And they see those ideas right there on television. And then you take that and you put that in our houses.
Right, and we deliver that. That's what we deliver.
Right.
Because, all the way down literally to the color of the paint, the
What
type
color is
of
that?
trim. Agreeable gray. It's agreeable gray. There's no accent walls. It's just agreeable gray because people can imagine what they want to do with that color because that's the color they've been inundated with on television.
Right.
It's everywhere. It's in every TV show. It's not just A&E or HGTV. It's in every the ladies that my mom spends all day watching the Hallmark Channel. It's in there, but of course they have accent colors and things like that. But people can imagine that for themselves because any color goes well with agreeable gray.
You need to put a sound screen between your mom and the rest of your family because that Hallmark Channel, man, that stuff is poison.
I can't take it, man. I can't take it. I don't spend much time with my mother.
Somebody done somebody wrong on TV song.
Oh no, the Hallmark Channel's all love and holiday stuff, man. Everything is happy on that show. On that channel. You're thinking of
A&E maybe or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
One of those other man-hater channels.
Lifetime Movie Network.
That's the one.
That's the one. I'm sorry. You're right. I was on the wrong channel. I apologize, Hallmark Channel.
Men are evil on that channel.
You, baby.
Good Lord.
All right. So one more quick method for renovating these houses and coming up with a number. I have it on our script, and that's the reason I'm mentioning it. It's the $5,000 per group method of determining what it's going to cost to fix a house. So you walk in, that you see the bathroom that needs remodeling. That's $5,000. You see another bathroom. That's $5,000. You see the floors, and I'm talking about on a 1,200-1,500 square foot house. What we're talking about. Right. That's $5,000. Kitchen. That's going to be 2 times $5,000. The roof, depending on the roof size, it's about $5,000.
And pitch.
Yeah,
but yeah,
about $5,000. Now, obviously, you might be spending less money on the bathrooms. You might end up spending more money on the kitchen. You might spend a little less money on the roof. You might spend more money on the floors, but it'll average out.
Yeah.
To about the right number.
And that's right. And it doesn't matter if you overshoot it depending, again, what you plan on doing.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're going to wholesale this, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've seen people that are sending deals out, other wholesalers, because we look at what other people are selling things for in the market. And they'll say, here's, 123 Main Street, ARV 330, $30,000 in renovation. And, we're looking at it to get it because we know the areas. We know it's going to need more square footage. We already know it's going to cost $30,000 just to touch the interior, just to touch it.
That's right.
I mean, we did a property where we estimated a $40,000 renovation budget. We weren't adding any square footage, and it went up to what, 53, 55 on Willoughby?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was processing.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about what I was going to say next.
And that was just cleaning it up.
Yeah.
That was just cleaning it up, doing the kitchen, doing the 2 bathrooms, and just
doing the floors,
yeah.
painting, cleaning out the basement.
The biggest expense there, and the new roof went on, exterior paint.
Right.
I think the largest expense was the HVAC system.
No, it was the kitchen.
It was the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And appliances, kitchen and appliances.
Yeah.
That was a pretty hefty amount.
So it was, and that was, again, it's just touching the inside. So when we know and someone says, hey, it's going to be $30,000 or $40,000 to do a renovation on a house that needs square footage, you can start your number at $100,000.
Exactly.
You can start it right there. So you've got to really look at what's going on when you're doing these deals. So if you're a wholesaler, or you want to give the buyer the best information possible, because if you want to be out here and do this and be respected for doing it, you want to do a good job. And that starts with determining what those costs, I should say, are going to be, as well as the values, but the cost for the renovation.
That property is a great segue into the other method that I have on the sheet there, which is, you walk through a house and you look at it and it looks a lot like the last one you just did. So that's the amount that you're going to spend.
That's right.
So,
That's
or
right.
give or take, maybe this one needs a roof and the other one didn't.
Yeah.
So you do you blend those two with your $5,000 method.
And after you've done 100 of them, you know exactly what it's going to cost.
I know we're going to take a break here in a minute, but I just want to remind us, you and me, that our tagline is from the show to the pro.
That's right.
And so we need to just put that in there.
Well, listen, we've got a pro coming up next. Mr. Knock the Ugly Off It will be right up here.
I love it.
Hi, this is Sammy with Sammy Hadid Real Estate Keller Williams. Are you looking for a top producing agent who will look out for your best interests? Top dollar on the sale of your home, a well-negotiated contract, an efficient closing? Please call me at 305-978-4249. I'm more than happy to set up a consultation. I'll put together a proposal for you to net top dollar for your home, what it is that I'm doing to get all my homes sold. Then you can decide what's best for you. Again, I'll do whatever it takes to get your home sold for top dollar, and I promise you that I will protect your equity with my life. 305-978-4249. Sammy Hadid, Hadid.
Hey, it's Real Estate 360. Welcome back. Steve Conley and Jason O'Mara.
Hey.
And we have with us today what we call, what'd you call him?
Mr. Knock the Ugly Off It.
That hurts me.
No. It's Scott Bowen. He is representing 5 Star Services. We made some references to them in the last segment.
Yes.
And Scott, welcome.
Hey, guys.
What's up, man?
Things are good.
Yeah.
Things are good, yeah.
Scott comes over and knocks the ugly off houses.
That's what we do. That is more often than not, they need it.
Yes, indeed.
Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been doing anything related to real estate investing or, renovations?
Wow. I've been in the business for 23 years. 23 years in November. So, yeah.
You must have started when you were 10.
Yeah, right, when I had more hair. Exactly. Yeah, I've seen a few things.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
It's been, so in your 23, how did you start? What brought you into it, and where did you start?
When I very first started back then, I knew that there was that real estate was a great way to kind of, make it because I had a job. I was just, that's what I did. And I started playing around with the idea of getting into real estate. So at that time, I didn't have the investor side education. So I went and I became a realtor.
Okay.
I went and got my license and did that. And that really wasn't making me happy. It just didn't fit what I needed.
I understand.
And then at some point, I found out going through that, you meet vendors, you meet folks that do kind of what we do. It's just an offshoot of regular real estate. And so then I realized, well, that there's other things I could do investing, I can fix houses, I can do these sort of things, and that's kind of how that sort of parlayed into what I do, and it just what I found was when folks call you to do something, if you do a good job, and at the end of the project, they're happy with you because we always do a little more than we're asked to do. And on the invoice, I'll show that. I'll just say, did this and this, no charge. Just a little something. And if you answer your phone, oh my gosh, and you show up, you do the job.
That's right.
And at the end, there's no big price increase. Things are just like what you said.
Yeah.
Your phone will ring off the hook.
Yeah. You mentioned something that we talk about all the time, and that's answering the phone.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Showing up.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Exactly. It is. And people just don't answer the phone.
Well, it's like that. I mean, and we would do small projects, big projects, because I was trying to go to school at the same time. And my father was ill. And so I would go out to people that would call, and I would say, listen, if you'll let me paint your house, right, and work on my timelines, because I had to go back and take care of my dad. So I was in and out a little bit. I said, but I'll make the price work for you.
Right.
And that's how I actually kind of got started. Because then when you're out there, they're like, well, hey, since you did that, can you do this? And, oh, that's great. Can you do this now? And before you know it, you're there.
So you got a lot of OJT.
That's exactly what happened. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Got it. And that's pretty good. So, and you mentioned you were in school.
I was.
So was that college, high school?
Yeah, it was college. I was trying to become to enroll in physical therapy school.
Yeah.
So I was taking classes and, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, blah, blah, blah. But there was 23 slots and over 750 applications.
Wow.
And I didn't have anybody on the inside.
Yeah.
And I had to eat. And I was supporting my dad and myself. And so that's kind of how I never meant to be the guy that I am now. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
And I went with it. And, after a while, like I said, the phone just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. And, you can't field all the calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing about Scott, I've known him for, I don't know how long.
Probably
20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Wow. I remember the first time I said that, I know somebody for 20 years, I was thinking, oh, man, this is not good.
Well, you're doing something right. So
That's right.
whatever you're doing, keep doing it,
But Scott is a people person. He is, he can renovate houses and do all that and bring in the resources to make stuff happen. But number one, he's just about the people. And, having wanted to be a physical therapist is a clue. He wanted to help people. And it just so happens that maybe he couldn't see getting a job in that because of the difference in applications. But now he can do the same thing, except it just happens to be connected to real estate investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. I see what they see, and I see it from their perspective, and then I see it from, okay, we can fix that perspective.
Right.
And it really isn't in being relatable to people.
So let me ask you this. Working with clients, obviously, you have to figure out what it is they're looking for.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes if it's their personal residence, they can tell you exactly what they want to do. Sometimes if it's an investor, they can tell you exactly what they want to do. But when you get that call and someone is saying, hey, listen, I'm looking to buy this property over here. I was wondering if you could go and tell me how much it's going to cost to fix it.
Right.
What kind of questions do you ask at that point? Or what do you do? What's your process when it's just a blanket statement like that? I'm going to buy a property on Main Street over here. Can you tell me how much it's going to cost to fix it?
I get that call all the time. They're like, oh, well, just over the phone, can you tell me? It's like, let me check the crystal ball.
Yeah.
Well, what I do is it's sort of a dual interview process. Because, they need to know that I'm familiar with what they may want. But there's a lot of times I'll save somebody from kind of stepping in the bear trap.
Right.
Because I'll know the area or the house. Because when you do buy a house, you buy the neighborhood. You know, they say if you marry the wife or the husband, you marry the family.
Right.
It's no different. It's the same type of thing. And I'll ask them what from my perspective, is I see what you want, but what is your exit strategy? What are you going to do with that? You know, is it going to be a rental? That's a certain type of renovation.
Right.
Is it going to be your personal house? You know, that's a very different type of renovation and a different budget. So that's where it starts.
A different process.
A different process. Yes.
When you're because there's three different ways that you just mentioned to fix it. There's the rental, there's the fix and flip, and there's the personal.
That's right.
The personal is going to be the most difficult because that's when people come in with the, oh, I know I said I wanted this color, but can we do this color? I know I said I wanted this cabinet, but let's do this cabinet. I know I said I wanted it over here, but can we move it over there? And all those change orders really start to rack up dollars.
They do. You have to let folks know in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that's where the interview process really gets down to the details.
Yeah.
And like you were mentioning earlier, certain color schemes, things like that.
Yeah.
Every house doesn't have to, you don't have to pop the top out and do all these things to get the house to where you want it to be. I like to focus on safety and security issues first. And making sure that everything's in order, and just stay real organized through the process. And in that way, again, you kind of keep people from, because they don't know. Your job is to know. My job is to know. So it's just really helpful to really take the time to talk to them, listen to them, and go from there.
Now another thing, we talked about this before, but one of the things as an investor that I absolutely hate doing is looking underneath the house.
Oh, man.
Right?
Oh, man.
I mean, I refuse to do it. I mean, I know I need to get it looked at. It has to be looked at, but I'm not the guy that's going to do it for multiple reasons. One, I'm a little bigger than most other people, right? I don't want to get under the house.
I'm big on the inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through a crawl space. That's one reason. The second reason is I don't like critters. You know what I'm saying? I will be scratching all day, just like, what is that? It's still on me. I don't want spider webs. I don't want bugs. I don't want crickets. And you never know what's going to be underneath the house here in Georgia.
Oh, man.
When we were kids, the other kids didn't want to get under the house, and I didn't understand what the problem was. I would get under there, no problem. I didn't care.
Oh, man.
There was just no fear of snakes or bugs or spiders or anything. Yeah. And but I thought it was a great cool. It was really, usually really cool under there and great place to hide.
Well, you have been referred to as a bit of a recluse.
Brown.
You guys don't talk about this now. I want me to go back under the house.
But I hate doing it. But it's a necessary thing, especially with the renovations that we do, because more often than not, we're going to wind up with a band that was rotted out.
Oh, yeah.
Something that has to happen underneath the house to fix the foundational structure of the house, right? The bones of the house. Yeah. But I know you go under there and you do it.
I do.
Because someone has to do it.
Yeah.
Above ground though. I love taking Scott to a house with me, especially after I've already seen it. And then I say, hey, Scott, let's go look at this. I need your perspective on it, because I'll look through it with my, overview eyes, and I'll say, okay, 5,000, and then Scott will come through with his laser focus eyeballs and say, well, you probably should look at the water issue that's coming into the basement over here, and I'll say, water issue?
Mm-hmm.
What water issue? Some things I just don't see.
Yeah,
and that's why several sets of eyeballs are always better than one set.
That's right. And sometimes we'll just overlook it. It's like a non-factor to us.
Exactly.
And you brought that up, and it made me think of Arlington.
Yeah.
In the basement of Arlington, there's a little water coming in over there. No big deal.
Right. It's not.
But it is. And
no,
when Scott
it's
came
no big
over
deal.
there, to me, it's no big deal. We'll just put some gutters on the house.
I mean, it is a big deal if you just leave it.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
But Scott comes over, and that was the very first thing he said, was like, hey, this is the problem. that's where it's coming from. Here's how you fix it.
Right.
That's right.
You know, and we did it, and that was that. It was it.
So 5 Star Services does, foundation repairs
Sure.
and roofing repairs and replacements and so forth. And we're not. I know that 5 Star is not a real big subscriber into just digging those trenches inside the house.
Yeah. That's
You
there's
know what I'm
different-
talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about putting the gutter systems in on the inside.
In the inside.
Yeah, there's other ways to do that. Preferably to keep the water out to begin with.
Right.
So, no names being called out here, but there are companies that sell the gutter systems, and they don't.
Let's hold that thought because we do have a break right now. And you know what? This is the show to the pro show.
From the show to the pro.
Thank you.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is, call us. I'm Scott with 5 Star Services. We do home renovations from your rooftop all the way down to the ground. Interior, exterior, it doesn't matter. We do it all. Give us a call. You can reach us at 404-348-2348. That's 404-348-2348. Or you can get us online at www.5starservicesatlanta.com. Give us a call. Estimates are free. We'll be happy to take a look at what you have. This time of year, we're getting a lot of roof activity because of all the rain, but we can handle, like I said, anything from the roof down. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but if it is, call us. I'm Scott Bowen with 5 Star Services. Thanks.
All right, we're back. And
Hit it, Scott.
I want you to keep going. I don't want you to lose your frame of thought there with those interior gutter systems you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a last bastion of defense. If you can keep the water out to begin with, whenever I evaluate a house, we look at it from the top down. Okay, are there gutters? If there's gutters, are they working properly? The downspouts, where they come down, where they feed out into the ground. Can we put those in? Can we put drain lines on those?
Mm-hmm.
Can we alter the terrain around the house soft? I learned that from working with working on a golf course, and learning how the soft rolling hills will, swales will redirect water, but you don't notice it, and that way you can have nice grass and so on and so forth, and everything. It just has an appeal, and you don't have the water ever touching your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, it's so much cheaper than going inside and cutting the gutters. And when I say cutting the gutters, what they do is basically they will dig a trench or cut the concrete out around the perimeter, put a gutter system in there, slant it down with gravity so the water still comes in, but it drops into the trough and runs down to a sump pump, and then it gets shot back outside. Right. And that's fine, but the water's still coming in.
That's right.
And if you're...
It seems like a lot of work that you could do outside the house instead of inside the house to eliminate that issue.
Yeah, and keep your basement nice and dry.
Yeah,
and not ever have to worry about the sump pump
if you're going to go through all that work,
if
you're going to go through all that work, you might as well just do it on the outside of the house. Why not
fix the problem?
Exactly.
Instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on it that's going to get wet and fall off.
Yeah, don't manage it. Just fix it.
That was a metaphor, by the way.
I got it. I love it.
When you have a house and it's built initially, there's what's called a French drain.
Yeah.
And that's just a common term for really redirecting the water off the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But those, you get about 20 years of protection from those.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the houses in Atlanta are older.
Yeah.
And so that 20 years is come and gone.
Yeah.
And now whoever owns the house, because, your average stay might be 7 years or so in a house. So it's exchanged hands over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're getting some seepage. And it just takes a crack or a pinhole or something like that to start letting it come in.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, if you can keep that water out, because if you don't, an inspector like me will come in for the buyer, and they'll see that. And then they'll be coming to you to say, well, we'd like to adjust the price because of these issues.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that whatever's there is not a glaring issue for you.
Yeah.
Now, the first line of defense for water is a roof.
Absolutely.
Do you guys do roofs?
We do. Sure
okay.
do. sometimes we meet the folks that won't acknowledge they have a roofing issue
Oh, that's me.
until until the
There's
shingles.
nothing wrong with that roof.
Until the shingles are on the kitchen floor. You know, you go out there and you say, you know, well, this roof is, you know, because we do an inspection and we check it out and see what they need. And if it's not a roof, it's not a roof. You know,
Do you mind if I tell a story about Steve and his roofs?
Oh, dear.
What?
Steve years ago had a house on, I believe it was Melton or Meldon.
Yeah, Melvin.
Oh, you can hear the voice. Yeah.
Okay. This house,
I don't want to talk about it.
this was absolutely the worst house I've ever seen someone actually living in.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there and I said, Steve, you know, you got to put a roof on that house. Oh, no, the roof's fine. The roof's fine. There's nothing wrong with the roof. The roof's fine. Go back over there because I meet the tenants and then the husband was looking for work. So I was giving him work and I go back over there. It just so happened to be raining. There are literal pots and pans catching rain coming into the house. You know,
Wow.
Steve does not like fixing roofs.
Well, I kind of evolved out of that. Was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
And I will say that I ended up putting way more than a roof on that house.
You
As
built a
matter-
new house there, right?
I actually did. I tore that one down
Yeah,
and built a brand new house.
yeah.
And it had a good roof.
A good roof, a great
Yes.
roof,
There
actually.
you go.
But Steve wouldn't fix that old roof, though.
So your roofs they're competitive, and what has it?
Yeah, there's different types of shingles and so forth, and you want to do something that's going to blend in with the neighborhood,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And again,
My roof blended in perfectly with that
your
neighborhood.
new roof did, yeah.
No, the old roof.
Oh no! Oh
The
my
new
gosh!
roof stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Oh wow, that is so rough. Well, it hadn't been too long ago, and don't get me wrong, money's an issue for everybody.
Sure.
But so I go out to a house, and
Money isn't an issue; it's a conversation.
well, it's a conversation that
Yeah.
some folks don't want to have. There you
right.
go, Steve, for instance. So I go out to this house, and the lady says, "Can you fix my roof?" And I said, "Well, I hope so. I need to take a look at it." And she said, "You know, you'll be the third person that's come out here."
Mm.
And I said, "Well, I'll take a look." And I said, "I won't charge anything to take a look. Let me see what you have." And I'm up there looking around, and it wasn't raining, so you know it's a little hard because you can test it with a water hose,
Yeah.
but that's not the same as a deluge of water coming down, right?
Right.
So, you know, we're testing it, and you know, it's just not presenting itself. It's kind of like when you go to the dentist because your tooth hurts, you're in the waiting room, and all of a sudden you feel fine.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Never had that happen.
No.
So we were trying to recreate the problem, right? And because water can go underneath a shingle at some point and run along the felt paper that's up there that's underneath the shingle,
Mhm.
and then wherever it decides to come in, wherever it finds an entry point, that's where you see the leak. But that doesn't mean that's where it is.
Right.
So it's a process. Long story short, I couldn't find it that day, and I said, I can't charge you anything for what I didn't fix, you know. And so she said, well, you're the first one, you know, because everybody wants to charge me to
Right.
take a look at this. And I
Because
said, well,
they came out, right?
that's correct. And
Yeah.
I said, well, you know, I'll be happy to come out when the rain comes. Let me look at the weather, and we'll schedule something around that time because that's really the best way to find it. And she was an older lady, you know, and you know it's not her job to know all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So long story short, the rain was coming. I called her to schedule. I couldn't get out there till later on that day. She called me later on, and she said, "Don't worry about coming out. Somebody fixed my roof." And I said, "Well, okay, that's fantastic." I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And so maybe a month and a half went by. And of course it rained. It's, you know, this year we've had a ton of rain. We broke records from 1907. But long story short, she calls me back and she said, my roof is leaking again in the same place. She said, but it hasn't leaked for like 5 months.
Mm.
And so I said, well, okay, no problem. I said, what about the guy that fixed it? She said, he's not answering his phone. Well, that's so typical,
Mm.
you know. And so I went out there, and I was really surprised that this guy was able to troubleshoot it because I've done this a lot. But I went up in there, her attic, which she never goes into, obviously, and that guy had set a bucket underneath the hole and charged her $400, and the water would go into the bucket. The leak was
man.
still there. She never saw the roof, obviously.
Oh,
she never
wow.
saw the inside of the attic. The water would come in where it come in. It would come down the pitch, drop off of the rafter into the bucket. And, of course, attics get hot.
He thought it would evaporate away.
And it was. It kept evaporating. But we had 11 days of rain. And this time, it didn't evaporate.
Yeah.
and he just took her money. I mean, it was sad.
That's creative problem solving.
So now I keep a lot of
house, right?
so now I keep a lot of buckets in the truck. I'm kidding.
$400 a bucket.
Right, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, you just don't know who's out there. And of course, now the guy's not answering his phone.
Yeah.
No, but we see so many things, and we see other stuff too when we're because I don't walk on a roof unless I can look in the attic.
Yeah.
At one point I stepped on a skylight walking on a roof that someone had just roofed right over the top.
Oh,
yeah. Talk about the fear factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I go into the attic. I look at everything before I go on top.
Yeah.
And it just keeps me healthy and,
Which is primary.
Well, I believe what people say, but I also believe in trust but verify.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's what I do.
So I think that you should tell people a little bit about how they can find you.
Well, I'm available with 5-star, and the number is 404-348-2348. That's 404-348-2348.
2348.
That's correct.
348.
Yes.
2348.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Okay. That's it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is, call us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they can reach you, what? Is that 5starservicesatlanta.com?
That's it. Exactly right.
5starservicesatlanta.com.
Yeah.
5 is the letter 5, not the letter 5. The number 5.
Yeah, the number 5, yeah.
The number 5, 5starservicesatlanta.com.
We do more than just roofs, but this time of year, roofs are just coming at us left and right.
So if someone needed HVAC service, you can help them out.
Sure. Absolutely.
You can facilitate whatever their need is.
That's right. We do just virtually everything in the renovation field.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of...
You're doing a kitchen in Alpharetta right now.
We are.
A complete kitchen remodel.
Don't tell my wife. She'll want to update what we have. Yeah, but yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
You're assuming I'm seeing your wife.
Oh.
Zing.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife's a black belt. You might want to watch that. I don't know if you can afford her anyway.
Probably not.
So listen, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. We mentioned in the beginning of this that we're going to have this scholarship.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that that people know where to go again. If they're interested in getting this 1-year scholarship to learn how to change your life financially in an industry that is going to be around forever, go to realestate360show.com, fill out the application, let us know who you are, why you want to do this, all that'll be there, and we'll be in contact with you. We'll be holding interviews over the course of the next few weeks for that, and we'll be picking someone in January. Also, again, go to iTunes. Make sure you subscribe to the Real Estate 360 podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, that is. Go to...
just go to our website.
Go to the website, yeah.
Watch the videos.
That's right. We want you to subscribe to it, because you know what? Even if you're driving in your car, it's very difficult to go to the website if you're driving in your car.
True.
But if you've got the podcast... if you subscribe to the podcast, you're on your phone, you're in your car, that's the best way to get the information when you're commuting back and forth to work. We want you to do that. And listen, it's holidays, you guys. It's the holiday season. It's Christmas in 3 days. So enjoy your holiday. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Happy holidays to you guys. And thank you.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And this is Real Estate 360 Show, taking you from the show to the pro today.
My man.